Hey, this is Matthew from Nerd News Today. Welcome to our continuing coverage from San Diego Comic-Con 2019. We got some real exciting news that just broke moments ago. The Hall H Marvel panel has just finished, so we now know what's in store for the Marvel movies for the next phase. Phase 4 is just about to kick off, and we now have basically an idea of what's going to happen over the next. Well, you'll see in a minute. We've got basically a lot of information, so we're going to start breaking it down. And what we're using here, since we're not at San Diego Comic Con, as you can see, is a bunch of Instagram posts, and most of which you'll be able to see the sources from, since we're borrowing from these folks. So do go ahead and go visit their posts, give them a like, give them a subscription, or whatever you gotta do. Follow them on Instagram. But let's go ahead, quit wasting some time. Let's get things started right away. So first off, the most important thing to know is that the Infinity Saga is completely done. It has finished. There is no more. The end. It's done. I guess that means the Infinity Gauntlet is not a thing anymore at all. Everything that's happened, all of the effects that we've seen from it over the course of the last 23 movies, it's finished. All done. Now, of course, this doesn't mean it's the end for a lot of storylines and such, but the big arc is done at this point now. We don't have to worry about Thanos coming back for the time being, it seems. Whatever has happened is done. We are now into a whole new area, a whole new space. And Spider-Man Far From Home is the official end of the Infinity Saga. So what's going to kick things off? We'll talk about that right now, in fact. So let's go ahead and switch things over to this. You're kidding me. Son of a bitch. So with the Infinity Saga done, what comes next in the Marvel Universe? Well, let's take a look and see what's going to be happening coming up next. So with the Infinity Saga totally completed now at this point, what is next in Marvel's Phase 4? Let's take a look and see. So you can see right here, we have the listing of what is going to be essentially making up Phase 4. That's 10 things. Not just, notice I said things, not movies, because it's not just movies that's going to make up Phase 4. Phase 4 will also include some TV shows. So most of which are going to be streaming to Disney's new Disney platform, Disney Plus, I believe it's called. So now we're pretty much going to have to get that service to what's going on with the Marvel Universe, because a lot is about to happen. So we're going to see things a little bit out of order as to how they were announced during the panels, but you'll be able to follow along pretty quickly. And here we go, we have now the official announcement of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. So Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu, kind of an obscure character, and kind of a bit of a surprise to enter the Marvel Universe, but I guess they want him in here just because there really aren't a lot of Asian superheroes, and this is going to be basically our way to really get one in there. We now know that Simu Liu is going to play Shang-Chi. We also know that Aquafina is going to be in it, and Tony Leung is going to be in it. I hope I'm saying his name right. Tony's been around forever. He is a serious veteran of cinema and everything else. Like, he's been around pretty much everything you've seen. I guarantee you've seen him, you just don't even know it if you're not even familiar with the name. But yeah, Simu was there. He came out, said hello to the fans, and he actually, I think, posted something on Instagram earlier as well today, just kind of showing himself off a little bit. Seems like a cool guy. He's, I don't want to say newcomer to the world of like TV and film, but he doesn't have the longest resume just yet either. But that's fine. I mean, that's not really a big deal. Just something to note. But exciting to see him, and there we have our villain, the Mandarin. So yes, the Mandarin is back. Well, I want to say he's back, but I mean, technically, he kind of sort of never existed, really. Iron Man 3, best left forgotten about. But we do know that the Mandarin is now an official part of the Marvel Universe as the proper Mandarin, and not what we got in Iron Man 3 for the most part. So cool to have him on board. He's going to be great. I have no worries about this, and it's going to be an interesting movie for sure, because again, Master Kung Fu, it's a pretty obscure franchise. I don't think there's going to be people nitpicking over stuff, over little stupid details, so they've got a lot of room to explore. And now here's a big one that got announced, which we've known for a while, but now we've got more information. The Eternals is officially happening, and Angelina Jolie, Richard Madden, Kumail Nanjiani, Lauren Ridloff, Brian Tyree Henry, Salma Hayek is in it. That's big news. Leah McHugh, Don Lee, directed by Chloe Zhao. That's a huge, huge cast right there. Lots of people. Like, wow. And we also know who they're going to be playing as well. In fact, I'll make sure to update that here. Let's see if I have it, in fact, in front of me. I think I wrote it down somewhere. I guess I don't have... All right, so Athena will be Angelina Jolie. Ajax is Salma Hayek. Icarus is Richard Madden. Kingo is Kumail. Fastos is going to be Brian Tyree Henry. Sprite is Leah McHugh. Gilgamesh is Don Lee. And Makari will be Lauren Ridloff. So now we know what to expect, who they're going to be, so you guys can start doing your research and catch up on the Eternals, because that's a whole big universe to catch up on. And that's going to probably lead us into, I think, a lot of the cosmic stuff that's going to happen. Maybe we'll talk about that towards the end of this video. But also announced now, we did know this a little bit before, we now have some more details. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier are going to be now one of the first things joining the Disney Plus thing in fall 2020. So this is the continuing story of the Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's basically going to be like I guess a buddy cop kind of thing for them. So at this point we know that the Falcon is inheriting the shield, as we saw in Avengers Endgame, and he's got it right there. Falcon will be now Captain America, which is essentially what happens in the comics also, in the modern comics. And Sebastian Stan, you can see him right there with Anthony Mackie. So this series is going to explore, I guess, them a little bit, and it's going to be their first adventure together, and essentially getting the Falcon ready to really handle the helm of Captain America. You know, wearing that cowl, it's not just a name, it's a lot to it. So I think the series is going to really go in depth on that transformation. And most importantly here, we know who the villain is going to be. Daniel Bruhl is back as Baron Zemo. So yes, he's still around. He made it past Civil War, and he's back. So I cannot wait to see Baron Zemo in action again, and I'm so glad that he's returned. He's a favorite villain of mine, to be completely honest, and especially now, if you're reading the current Punisher comic, he's a major part of that, and he's absolutely insane. I love it. So I kind of want to see what this version of Baron Zemo is going to be since we last saw him. It's going to be pretty cool. Here we have another thing from Disney Plus. Spring 2021. WandaVision. So this is going to explore the continuing relationship between the Scarlet Witch and the Vision. So Elizabeth Olsen is back, Paul Bettany is back, and Teyonah Parris is going to be making her debut, which will be exciting. So during the panel, they basically said this is going to be like nothing you've seen before. And what that means is still kind of, it's kind of a broad thing to say. But what they're saying is that it's going to be some pretty trippy, interesting stuff, I guess. In fact, you can see Bettany talking about it right here. And it's going to feature Maria Rambeau's daughter, Monica Rambeau. So that's going to be interesting also. And again, I like that. That's coming up in a little moment. But yeah, this should be interesting. And I kind of wonder, what we're going to see. Is this going to be like... I guess it's going to be romantic to a degree as well. But like, what's it going to really bring to the overall arc of Phase 4? I don't know. But it should be interesting. And we're going to get a lot more of Scarlet Witch throughout Phase 4. So that's pretty cool. Loki is back. So Tom Hiddleston will be on his own Disney Plus series in spring 2021. So as you guys know, in Avengers Endgame, even though Loki died in the first movie, Infinity War, he's back because alternate timelines, things just got timey-wimey, and he ended up getting himself a stone, so he's basically back. It's a different version of Loki, but it's still Loki. And what he's going to do, we don't know yet, but as long as Hiddles is on board, I'm down for it. I cannot wait to see it. Very exciting. The Doctor Strange sequel is also happening. That's going to be set for May 7th, 2021. And yes, Benedict Cumberbatch is back, and Elizabeth Olsen will be also in it. So Scarlet Witch is joining Doctor Strange in whatever this multiverse of madness is. And that's kind of the key word there, is multiverse, because this does, in fact, open things up to a lot of new stuff. Using the word multiverse means it's more than just their universe. We saw in Spider-Man Far From Home, there was kind of a mention of Earth 616, even though Mysterio is kind of full of whatever. But this means that something's going on in the multiverse. There's going to be a lot of things happening that's going to affect, I'm sure, the rest of the phases beyond this. Also, very excited to announce this one. Summer 2021 on Disney Plus, What If is happening. So this is going to be an animated series, and it's going to have Jeffrey Wright as the voice of the Watcher. And I cannot wait for this because I'm a big What If fan. And the coolest thing about this is a lot of actors who have been in all the other phases are going to return. And they're going to be playing the same parts that they played in those movies. And in fact, we have a list of that. It's an enormous list. Like, look at the size of this. And the best part is, it's not just like, the little bit parts. Like, no, check it out. Chris Hemsworth is there. Sam Jackson is there. Tom Hiddleston is there. You've got a serious star-studded list of folks who are going to be appearing in this, lending their voices to it. Which I think that's also probably why you've got a lot of these folks in there. But yeah, look at this list. This is like an amazing list of folks. Jeff Goldblum, Michael Douglas, Paul Rudd. Like, basically almost everybody is coming back to reprise their roles. That's an amazing thing. I cannot wait to see this. For me, this is really the sell of Disney Plus. Also coming to Disney Plus, again, fall 2021, we're going to get Hawkeye, the series. And this is going to be not just Jeremy Renner, but we're going to have a Kate Bishop character now. So this is going to explore a little bit more, apparently, of his time as Ronin. And we're also going to see him. Well, I don't know if he's going to be passing on the name Hawkeye, but we know that there's a Kate Bishop out there in the comics, and she basically takes the name Hawkeye for a little while, and is now because they basically share the Hawkeye role, which is real interesting. So that's going to be a cool series. See what they do. Can't wait for that one. This was the big, super duper announcement that I know a lot of folks are going crazy for. So we're getting Thor #4, Love and Thunder. So Chris Hemsworth is back. Tessa Thompson is back as Valkyrie. Taika Waititi is back as director. And guess who's showing up again? Natalie Portman. So we kind of got a little bit of tease of her, in fact, in Endgame. You know, they used some old footage of her, I think, from older movies. But now she's back. And they're going to be actually following a storyline from recent comics, which centers, in fact, around Natalie Portman, because she's holding the hammer, and she's going to become Thor. She is apparently going to become worthy in some capacity. So that's what Thor #4 is going to explore. It's going to be what happens when she takes the role of Thor, which it's a really cool, interesting run in the comics. I recommend you guys check it out. I need to actually go reread it and refresh myself with it. But great to see Natalie Portman back also. I know she's been missed in the movies. Granted, the Thor movies have been great without her, but I also can't wait to see her back in things, and yeah, real excited. And this was another real big piece of news. Black Widow is a go. May 1st, 2020. Scarlett Johansson, of course, reprising her role as Black Widow. We've got David Harbour. It's a pretty big cast already, and they did, in fact, show some footage at Hall H, which is really cool. There's no leaks as of yet. I'm sure someone was able to get some footage out. I'm not going to show it, but if you guys dig around, I bet you can find something if it's out there. They did show some footage of it. They're currently filming in London, but the stuff they showed takes place in Budapest, and the villain apparently is going to be Taskmaster. That's going to be cool to see what they do with Taskmaster. He's one of my favorite villains also. Granted, he does in fact work for Baron Zemo in that current Punisher comic run, so go figure. Great pairing. So here is that list. So yeah, Black Widow is that movie that you see it's missing on the very front of it, but we have now our next 10 steps in Phase 4, and it's going to be an interesting time. A lot of fun movies on the way, a lot of interesting things, and as of now, of course, we don't know what's in the long-term future, but there's a lot going on, so start making your predictions. And of course, this stuff, nothing really was shown in terms of dates and times, but we do know now that Black Panther 2 is coming, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is coming, Captain Marvel 2 is coming, and best of all, Fantastic Four. So Marvel Studios, I'm getting goosebumps talking about this. Fantastic Four is going to come back to us, and if anybody can do it right, it's these folks here. Man, so if they got Fantastic Four, X-Men can't be that far away. Granted, it's going to probably be still a few years, but if they got Fantastic Four, that is just huge. And hey, maybe we're going to get a good version of Galactus. Oh, and by the way, Blade is back, and Mahershala Ali is playing Blade. That's how they ended everything at the panel tonight, and that is amazing news. Again, the goosebumps on me are continuing. My camera's too terrible to pick it up, but take my word for it, the goosebumps are happening. This is so big, so awesome. This has been a rumor for like a long time, getting Mahershala Ali to play this character, and it's going to happen. I cannot wait to see it. Blade is one of my favorite Marvel movies of all time, and Blade basically really launched the MCU before the MCU was a thing. Without that Blade movie with Wesley Snipes, we would not have what we've had for the past 10 years and beyond. So again, here's just a quick look at a good portion of stuff that was announced. This is missing the Eternals here, but there's a lot going on. It's going to be a great Phase 4. I'm really excited. I mean, yeah, I wasn't really too keen on Doctor Strange, the first one, but I think the sequel's going to be better, because that's just usually what happens. Sequels always tend to be better. But the Thor movie's going to be great. Hawkeye's going to be great. What If is going to be amazing. Falcon Winter Soldier, amazing. This is a really strong list of movies, even though it's got some characters that you might not be as interested in. That is a good thing, because it does mean there's no preconceived conception about how these guys should be or what the story should be. There is a lot of room to grow. They're kind of in their own world now as well. They're not really, they're following the comics still to a degree. They're following certain storylines, but they're very much freed from the shackles of having to follow comics 110%. So a lot of cool things on the way, and man, the future is looking good. Now again, this whole Disney Plus thing, that's kind of changing things up for them as well, because with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show on ABC, for example, even though that stuff tied into the movies, it didn't affect the movies necessarily. And all the Netflix shows that, again, you see are not represented here whatsoever. Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, all those characters not represented. Punisher not represented here. They never really had any effect on the Marvel Cinematic Universe anyway. Anything that happened just really didn't affect things outside of like the very first Avengers movie, I guess. That was really the only thing that affected what happened in their world. So now this Disney Plus stuff, everything has opened up big time. And that means that everything will be tied in. That's going to make things a lot more complicated for us, the viewers at home, but it's going to make us much more invested in everything that happens, because now everything is going to have some relative level of importance to the overall story of Phase 4, Phase 5, and most likely Phase 6. That's how they're going to do this. So there you go, folks. That is our very brief look at the big announcements from Hall H during the Marvel panel tonight. This is huge. My mind is blown. I want to know what you guys think, because there's some interesting things announced here. There's some that I think might surprise some folks. I can't wait for a lot of this stuff, but I'm sure there's a lot of stuff out there that you might not like, and there might be some other things that you are way more excited for than I am. So go ahead, leave some comments, let me know what you think, and of course, please make sure to like this video, do all the things that it says on the side of the screen there, share it, and subscribe to our channel for all of our other SDCC news and everything else to come. It's been such a great weekend so far, and we're not even done yet. We still have another full day ahead of us. So stay tuned, folks. This is Matthew from Nerd News Today. Thank you for watching. We'll update you guys again very soon.